So this will be my breakdown of the Scarlet Witch at max level. If you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. I'll start by going over her maximum friendship buff passive, which is 25% chance to debuff each enemy near the Scarlet Witch each turn, which is obviously really good. Now I'll go over all of her cards through ability crafting. So when it comes to the Scarlet Witch, she has very good capability at damaging multiple enemies at once. I will say, when I first got the Scarlet Witch, I was a little disappointed because she seemed pretty weak, but it's honestly in how you upgrade your cards and how you try to mod them and stuff like that. So here are all her cards. So she has Hexbolt, which has a base of 61 damage, and it chains 1, and give all Hexbolt cards +1 chain. And then upgraded, it begins with chain 2 instead of chain 1. Next card, we have Hex Charge, which costs 3 heroism. Target an enemy to explode at the start of their next turn for 122 damage. If KO'd, they explode for 122 damage. And then upgraded, it has a base of 122 damage. And the target now explodes for 244 damage. So that one especially, this one is really only good in my opinion when it's upgraded because it has the base damage of 122 as well, but a non-upgraded, I didn't really do anything for me personally. And then Hex Field, it has 61 base damage and it damages each enemy near the Scarlet Witch. And then upgraded, it has a base damage of 122. So this is definitely one of the ones that's going to help you in her kit. Hexbolt and Hex Field are honestly some of her best ones, even though they're some of the most basic in my opinion. Unleashed, increased size of Scarlet Witch's area abilities by 25% for 2 turns. And then upgraded, it increases the area by 40%. And then Detonate costs 2 heroism. Detonate an explosive with 100% increased damage and radius, and on redraw +1 heroism. And then upgraded, a Scarlet Witch and allies are immune. So the immune stuff helps, but again, the base Detonate, this is kind of one as well where it's just kind of not that serious because obviously you're also betting on there being an explosive in the map. Hex Mark, so apply 2 marked to each enemy in an area, and then upgraded is apply 3 marked to each enemy in an area. This is really good in my opinion. It's one of her better support abilities because when you apply marked, if you kill an enemy that has marked on them, you get a refunded card play. So being able to apply 3 marked, which should be 3 turns. When it says 3 marked or 3 strengthened or something like that, that number should represent the amount of turns that it lasts for. So it should last for 3 turns, which is a long time for marked to ask, and it has plenty of time for it to activate to refund the card play. And then Quick Toss has a base damage of 61. It has knockback and quick. And then upgraded is it has knockback in any direction. And then Chaos Field for 2 turns. Allies near the Scarlet Witch gain 1 resist at the end of the turn. And then upgraded for 2 turns. Allies near the Scarlet Witch gain 1 resist and recover 244 health at the end of the turn. So this is a good support as well. Chaos Reigns costs 3 heroism. Select an area. Enemies within the area attack each other, and then upgraded is 50% chance for each enemy to attack twice. This can be good, but this also doesn't really do a whole lot for me personally. It can come in clutch, but I would rather use heroism using other heroes' abilities, in my opinion, than just betting on how often the enemies are going to attack each other. And then her legendary No More costs 5 heroism. Has a base X damage, and it consumes all health to damage each enemy near Scarlet Witch, 1 for each health. So she's literally kills herself to damage everybody, and then draw a card for each KO. So depending on how much health your Scarlet Witch has, I mean, let me see how much health my Scarlet Witch has now, so you can see how much damage that would do at maximum potential. So she has 620 health, so it would do 620 damage. 600. I mean, for a legendary card, it makes sense for that to be like the maximum, but that would literally be if I was at full health and I just decided to waste the Scarlet Witch entirely using No More. So I am a little disappointed in No More as well because I feel like the parameters around it could be better. I like the card a lot because I like the reference to the House of M and stuff like that, but I just think that it could be set up better in my opinion. So as far as the mods that I recommend go, I recommend the same mods for everybody. So I recommend Quick, Strengthened, which increases your offense. Marked, which I already went over. Draw a card. Bleed, which damages the enemy at the end of the turn. Recover health or block, or increased heroism gain. So now as far as my deck goes, like I said, the main ones in my opinion are Hexbolt and Hexfield, even though they're some of the most basic. I feel like that's how you're going to get the most damage out of her. So Hexbolt. So I have 2 Hexbolts, chain 2, and then +1 heroism for each KO for this one. And then this one has increased heroism gain, as you can see in the bottom left, +3, and it also taunts the enemies. And then Hexfield, the mod I have is draw a card. And then this one I have increased base damage, so the mod is increased damage to 146. And then Hex Mark has increased heroism gain for a mod, so it gives you +4 heroism, which is a lot. So this card is like really good for applying marked and +4 heroism. And then Unleashed, same thing, except it has +3 heroism, not +4, but that's still really good. And then Hex Charge, the mod I have is gain 1 counter. And then No More, I do not have a mod on at all yet because it costs a lot of legendary resources to upgrade and then apply mods to legendary cards and stuff like that. So, like I said, the Scarlet Witch is good at attacking multiple enemies, so you want to kind of lean into that. At least that's how I built her. There's not going to be a right or wrong way to building her, but I lean into it with the chain, with the Hexbolts, and then the Hex Field, because you can damage multiple enemies with this. And then the highest the chain can go with Hexbolt, I believe, is 5. So if you keep on making it a point to use Hexbolt as soon as you get them, once you get it to 5 Hexbolts, it'll be a lot more useful than it starts out at 2. But comment down below how you might build your Scarlet Witch. If you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content, and I appreciate you for watching the video.